Tonight, I would like to just give you some brief introduction about the culture of 12 zodiac animals. So Chinese zodiac, in Chinese language, we call it this Sheng Xiao. So it's represented by 12 zodiac animals. So in order, you can see, just give me 1 second. Okay, so in order, they are rat. We start from the rat, then ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat. Some people also say sheep, ram. So because in Chinese, in China, without goat and sheep, they are pretty similar animals. So for this one, so probably you have different ideas. Monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. So Chinese zodiac years begin and ends at Chinese New Year in January or February on solar calendar. So each year in the repeating zodiac circle of 12 years is represented by zodiac animal. So let's talk about the zodiac calendar first. So zodiac calendar is also the lunar calendar. So the traditional Chinese calendar is not like Western calendar. We follow a 12-year circle and repeat it continuously. So each year, one animal is represent the whole year. So the Gregorian calendar is used today in China, but zodiac calendar or lunar calendar is used for festivals, and also it's become an important part of daily culture and also people's beliefs. So this year, 2022 is the year of the tiger. So many Chinese people believe this year should be a good year. So it's a good year or with the power. So I do wish that the power of the tiger can help us to clear the virus, to finish the pandemic, and to bring everything back to normal. The whole world should go back to the normal. So hopefully, the year of the tiger, we can have all the chaos in the world stopped. Oh, so there is a legend behind the Chinese zodiac culture. So the Jade Emperor, who was respected as the god of the Taoism, invited all animals to bid him a farewell race before his departure from Earth. So only 12 animals arrived eventually. So with each given a place of honor in the year based on the order of arrival. So for cat lover, this is a pity that we don't include cat in this story, because at that time, in the legend, the cat and the rat are very good friends. So so the cat says to the rat, we should arrive early that day so that we can occupy a great place of the owner. But I usually get up late. So the rat promised to give the cat a wake up call. But on that very morning, the rat was too excited to recall the promise. So the result was that the cat was too late for the race. So here, I prepared a short video. So this is about the legend. I can show you the short video. Oh, sorry. Okay, so in this cartoon, so the story is a little bit from the legend I taught earlier. So in my story, the cat even didn't get a chance to join the race, right? But in this cartoon, the cat was kicked off to the river by the rat. So that is why he didn't make it to the finish line. So as you probably can see, so the animals, the shape of the animal is look a little bit different. So because in the ancient time, so the earliest Chinese characters are all pictographic script. So actually, in this cartoon, so all the shape of the animals is represented by the Chinese characters. So the strokes and also the Chinese characters signs. So that is why each animals look a little bit different from the regular features in the cartoons. So here, different people born under each zodiac sign are believed to have different personalities that represent animals of the year. So sometimes people consult with their zodiac signs for compatibility before getting married. So here, this is there is pictures. You can check your animal sign by referring to the year you were born. So, and also you can check out the real animal in your heart and the personalities they represent. So the first animal who won the first place was the rat. So the rat was the fastest runner. Of course not, right? So, but he was the smartest. So the rat thought about a good idea, and he made the ox carry him on condition that he can sing a song for the ox. So when the ox was almost at the finish line, the rat slid in front. So then he became the first lucky animal of the Chinese zodiac. So those are the year of the rat. So in Chinese language, we pronounce rat as 鼠, S-H-U, 鼠 is the Chinese word for rat. So if you are if you were born in the year of the rat, so those are the attributes of the personalities. So imaginative, charming, truly generous to people you love. So I don't know how many of you were born in the year of the rat. The second one is the ox. So at the bottom, you can see the year of the ox. So in Chinese language, we call ox is 牛, N-I-U, 牛. So if you were born in the year of the ox, so you are patient, endurant, and you then your endurance can bring you great success. So, but you are easily get angry. So so for this, for people who was born in the year of the ox, so are most compatible with the snake and rooster. Okay, the tiger. So on the right, those are the year of the tiger. So the pronunciation of tiger is hu in Chinese language, H-U. So if you are tiger, you are very brave, aggressive, but also can be sensitive when it comes to loved ones. Also, the tigers are very playful, so very good, compatible with the horse and the dog. So two is the rabbit. So the year of the rabbit on the left, you can check if you are born in the year of the rat. So if you were born in the year of the rabbit, so you are the kind of person that people like to be around. You are very popular, so very easygoing, so very friendly. And the year of the dragon. So the Chinese way to say dragon is long, L-O-N-G, long. It's pretty easy to remember because the Chinese figures of dragon is pretty long, like a snake, right? So long is the way we say dragon. So if you are a dragon, so you are one of the most powerful signs. Okay, so you are you have the longest life and good fortune, and you are most compatible with the rat and monkey. Okay, then the snake, 蛇 in Chinese language. So those are the year of the snake. So if you are a snake, you are rich in wisdom and charm, romantic, deep thinking. So you should be aware of your good looks. Okay. Horse. So I was born in the year of the horse. So the Chinese way to say horse is ma, M-A. A lot of beginners of Chinese language started to learn this Chinese character from the very beginning. So if you are a horse, so then you are intelligent, friendly, and you are also a hard worker, very independent. The ram or goat or sheep, I don't know. So I will say the year of the goat. Okay, so on the left is the year of the goat. And also the Chinese way to say ram is yang, Y-A-N-G, yang. So as a goat or a sheep or a ram, you try for peace and harmony. So when it comes to leadership, you could be quite timid. However, you are always live a very comfortable life. Okay, monkey. So the monkey. So the Chinese way to say monkey is hou. On the left, oh, I'm sorry, on the right, this is the year of the monkey. you can see whether you are born in the year of the monkey. So if you are a monkey, so you can be very naughty, very intelligent, which means you are smart and clever. Okay, rooster. So the Chinese way to say rooster is 鸡. So if you are rooster, so you are also a deep thinker and very talented. So you take care of your friends. So that which means you also can be very popular with your friends. And then dog, 狗 is a Chinese way to say dog. So if you were born in the year of the dog, you can be very honest, friendly, faithful to those you love. The last one is the pig. So 猪 is the way how we say pig in Chinese. So if you were born in the year of the pig, so you are quiet, sincere, tolerant, honest. However, you are always well informed and you are very trustworthy with the ones you do have. So this is one of the most important usage of the Chinese zodiac is to determine if two people are compatible in a romantic relationship or any kind of relationship. Zodiac compatibility is usually checked before getting married in China. So people born in a certain zodiac animal year are believed to have the attributes of that animal, which determines their personality traits and could either help or hinder a relationship. So on the right, I found a table. So it says the best worst match among the Chinese zodiac signs. So the Chinese zodiac also has great influence on several other Asian countries, such as South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand, and Myanmar. So in some countries, the zodiac signs are the same as the Chinese ones, but in some countries, some of the animals differ in other countries. For example, in Myanmar and Thailand, they do include peacocks, and also elephant, lions. So those animals are not included in the Chinese zodiac animals. So yeah, that is my brief introduction of the 12 zodiac animals. Do you have any questions?
Yes, please feel free to use the chat if you have any questions or any comments. Oh, we do have a question. Does the cat show up in any other Asian zodiac?
As I know, I don't see any in the other Asian countries zodiac animal include cat. Personally, I'm a cat lover. I have 3 cats back in China. So yeah, it's a pity that we don't have cat in our culture. But I also didn't see cat in the zodiac animal signs of Thailand and Myanmar and other Asian countries. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't know.
How were these animals chosen? Why not a cat or a lion or a bird, but these specific animals?
So we started to have the zodiac Chinese zodiac for over 3,000 years. So, but it's only the legend I just showed you about the race is the most common legend, like most of Chinese people know about this race, but how really the zodiac animal become the part of history. So there should be studies about on that, but I didn't study that deep. I don't know what's the reality that the scholars or the how we include those specific 12 animals in those rotations. But what I know is about the legend, because the legend is just, it's very popular among the in our traditional culture. So what animals in 1997 and what are these chapters? Okay, let me go back to the slides. I have all the years listed. Okay, so you said 1997, right?
Yeah, 1997.
Oh, that is the year of the ox. So so hard worker, you can be a hard worker, and also you pretty the endurance can help you to make success. That is what I remembered from the readings.
We did have another question. Why is it a year and not the month, like in the United States or Western culture?
So so we use the so we I don't know. I probably I cannot provide you a right answer. So I don't know the reason why, but there has become the customs and also the culture for thousands of years. So why it's not like we don't use this specific animals to represent each month? I really don't know. Sorry. So that is how the culture is represent the year. But I should look up this information. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Were there any other questions before we move on to Jane's presentation? What are the traditions? So
the tradition is...
Oh, so...
That's a good transition to
yes, it is.
Thanks for asking, yeah.
Should I answer these questions? Oh, actually, Jane will give us a presentation about the transition of the Chinese New Year. But I just want give one more answers about related to the zodiac animal. So for example, this year is the year of the tiger. So people in China, we will use a lot of the paper. We will use a lot of decoration with the features of the tigers in the house. So for example, we will do we'll have the paper cuttings. Paper cutting is decoration of the windows. So we will use a red paper or golden paper to make the features of the tigers. And also for a lot of families, they will use the spring couplets. So which is the we use Chinese calligraphy to write good wishes on the red paper. So then they also will write a lot of characters related to tigers. So for each year, so which year, which animal represents the year? So then we will use the Chinese characters representing the animals as the decorations. So that is one part of the culture, one part of the tradition. But Jen will give you more details about that traditions, how we celebrate Chinese New Year.
Thank you so much, Dr. Liu.
Thank you.
And and that was a really good question to transition to Jane Barron, who will kind of help us understand a little bit or give us a little bit more information about traditions as the holiday, the Lunar New Year holiday is celebrated. Thank you, Jane.
Yes, thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay, perfect. So thank you for that, Dr. Liu, introduction to Zodiac. So I am going to be talking about lores and traditions in Lunar New Year. Before that, I wanted to get people's participation, ask people about how would you describe Lunar New Year to someone who has never heard about it before. So feel free to use the chat function for that. Maybe some buzzwords that you can tell people about what Lunar New Year is about. Maybe also based on Dr. Liu's presentation. Fresh start, new beginning. Anyone else? Watching the parade in Chinatown. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, well, thanks for participating. Oh, there we go. Getting together with family to celebrate a fresh start, new cycle, new beginnings. Yes, thank you. This is great. So, just a quick overview of what is Lunar New Year. It is a holiday for feasting and honoring deities and ancestors. So Lunar New Year is a time of celebration among East and Southeast Asian cultures, particularly and specifically Chinese culture, Vietnamese and Korean communities. This typically begins on the first new moon that occurs between the end of January, and its celebration spans until the full moon. So, kind of why it's called Lunar New Year, and Dr. Liu said it does follow the lunar calendar. And for the person who asked why year versus month, is that well, I have a guess of lunar the phases of the moon changes kind of how the year is. So fun fact, my partner's grandpa, we don't know when his actual birthday is in the Gregorian calendar because it changes on the phases of the moon. So that might be something that people can look into. And why did it start? It does have ancient roots in agricultural society. So it has ancient roots in agricultural society in China. It was an occasion to celebrate the harvest, worship the gods, and ask for good harvest in times to come. Of course, that has evolved to how it is celebrated today. There's also a lore of how Chinese Lunar New Year started. And we're going to watch a quick video about that. So hopefully technology is good to us and it works.
新年快乐! Happy New Year! Join us as we explore Lunar New Year, a holiday that dates back thousands of years. Today we'll travel to China to explore the rich traditions that have been passed down from generations to celebrate the holiday. Another year of good fortune is beginning in China. Fireworks pop high in the sky, dragons dance in the streets, and the city slows down to celebrate Lunar New Year. In Chinese culture, it's the most important time of the year, rooted in traditions and customs passed down through the ages. The celebration lasts for 15 magical days full of family togetherness, delicious food, and good fortune. Today, Lunar New Year is filled with happiness. But according to legend, it didn't start out that way. A long, long time ago in China, there was a big, scary, nasty beast named Man. whose name means year. He had razor-sharp teeth, giant claws, and a really mean growl. Most of the time he lived in the wilderness, but on the darkest night of the year, when the new moon was in the sky, he would sneak into the village and scare everyone in sight, even the animals. People dreaded the new moon for many, many years, until a wise man taught them the three things Nian was afraid of: loud noises, fire, and the color red. The next time Nian came, the villagers fought back. They hit their drums as loud as they could, lit every firecracker they had, and wore the color red from head to toe. Nian ran far away and never came back. After that, the people started celebrating the new moon instead of fearing it. That celebration became a 15-day festival of family, food, and good fortune called Lunar New Year. Every Lunar New Year is...
Okay, so that was just a quick introduction, more behind Lunar New Year. Sorry. And also thinking about, I think there's a lot of symbolism, right? Especially when we're thinking about agricultural society, of darkness that comes with the new moon, and how people are, the 15-day cycle is towards the full moon, where there is, it's brighter, and it's also for harvest. So what are some tradition? This is a good question that did come up. So some of the traditions, well, a lot of the traditions really involve sharing food with family and loved ones. So it's about sharing memories with family, and it's an important part of this tradition. And in China, which is one of the traditions, family members actually give younger children red envelopes. And I'm going to talk about more, but in Vietnam, families offer a 5-fruit platter to pay respects to ancestors. So here are some of the Chinese traditions. So it does vary from region to region based on family and where your family is from. Also, so like Dr. Liu said, some of the traditions involve creating rhyming couplets that bring fortune to the home. Usually it is related to what year it is, but you usually put these couplets or these poetic couplets in the front door to bring fortune to the home. Also, it's a lot of, you make homemade dumplings and shop for new clothes and accessories. I heard in the chat, oh, this is a fresh start, new year, and that is part of it as well. And also something that I learned is usually if your birthday falls within the year, so this year is Year of the Tiger, you would have one red accessory that you would be wearing every day to ward off bad luck. And people clean the house from top to bottom, but not on Lunar New Year Day. And so you would do that before so that you can do that. And you don't clean the house in those 15 days or when you're celebrating Lunar New Year, because it is believed that you would sweep away bad luck or the good luck or the fortune. So those are some of the Chinese tradition. In Vietnamese traditions, it is decorating the home with kumquat trees and flowers. It's, again, I mentioned before, having a 5-fruit platter to honor the ancestors, and snacks are offered to guests. Something to note about the traditions and how Lunar New Year spread in a lot of Asian cultures is through immigration and trade with China. And so even in Japan, there's a Chinatown that celebrates Lunar New Year, even though it was, I think it was Japan and Korea that it was banned for a little bit. But that's how it started, was that the trade and the interaction with China, which evolved into Lunar New Year traditions for those cultures. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's just a short introduction, but I just wanted to ask people, I know some people said how they would describe Lunar New Year. But if you have any celebrations that you do during the Lunar New Year, please feel free to share now. So. And also, if you have any questions, you can definitely ask that. April said it's dumplings. Yes, my partner's mom makes them handmade and it's so great. I love dumplings. Brian says eat food, run envelopes, and spending time with family. Yes, that's definitely the biggest tradition that we've seen span across the cultures that celebrate Lunar New Year. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. So yes, whoever is test, so they do call it Mongolian New Year, and I think depending on the culture, and this is why we've also said Lunar New Year because it does a lot of Asian cultures do celebrate it. So Vietnam, Japan in some areas, and Korea, Thailand. Those are some of the cultures, and so that's why we kind of group it into Lunar New Year. Yeah. So yes, so someone had a question about where's the best location in the US to celebrate Chinese New Year. I did come across this when I was researching it. It's in California. I don't know the exact location, but if you want to look that up, it is somewhere in California. But also the oldest Chinatown is in like the San Francisco area. So I don't know how they celebrate it now, but that's probably why a lot of the celebrations outside of China might be in the West Coast.
Can I add something to this questions?
Yes.
So actually, I did research because I when I wrote my doctoral dissertations, my dissertation topic is about how to measure the motivation of the American learners, learning motivation to learn the Chinese culture. So for the introduction part, I did quite a lot of research. So actually, in the U.S., the biggest Chinese communities are in California and Texas. So San Francisco, the Chinatown in San Francisco is really big, and also there is also a huge Chinese community in Dallas, Texas. So those places can be a very good place to celebrate Chinese for you to experience the Chinese New Year celebration, and also the Chinatown in New York City. So there's like older part of Chinatown in Manhattan, and also now there's a newly pretty developed Chinese big Chinese community in Crane. It's called Flushing. So those areas also can be a good place to visit and to see how people celebrate Chinese New Year.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Liu. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Thank you.
So actually, I'm still thinking about the answer earlier about why Chinese people use the zodiac animal to represent the year instead of month. So now I did Google it while Jamie was presenting. So I found the answer here because the zodiac was invented to count years. So in Han Dynasty, which is between 206 BC and 9 AD, so which is like 3,000 years ago. So we invented this to count years, but we're using other elements to count dates, months. For example, we use the fire elements like fire, wind, mud, metal. So those 5 elements to count months and dates and different times. But zodiac animals was invented to count years.
Well, thank you for looking that up and giving us that extra information. I appreciate it. And that was a really good question about the locations as well. Yes, and please, if anyone has any other questions they'd like to ask either Jane or Dr. Leo, please put them in the chat box right now. Or if you just have a comment you'd like to share, you can feel free to pop that in the chat box as well. I also want to take this time to let everyone know that we are also accepting applications for the APIDA Alumni Chapter. So if you're interested in joining the Alumni Chapter, the APIDA Alumni Chapter will be accepting applications. And the first round of applications will be due within the next week. So feel free to drop me an email. Shoot me an email if you'd be interested in getting an application. I'll be happy to submit to you.
In April, as an alumna, what would be the roles and responsibility of someone running the chapter?
Really, very good question. So the committee, basically, they partner with the Office of Alumni Relations to create programming and activities that support the alumni community. And, we have quarterly meetings where we sit together and we brainstorm and we come up with ideas for activities and plans. We are looking for volunteers to lead service projects, to help plan social activities, events and activities for API Heritage Month. And so, yeah, I can also, if anyone's interested in hearing specifically the responsibilities and duties, I'm happy to send you information about that as well. So you can just feel free to reach out to me at agarrett@depaul.edu. Just put that in the chat. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you both so much for your presentation. It was wonderful to have you with us. We did record this, so anybody wants to go back and look at those zodiac years, you want to see that, we will get that up on the website very shortly. Or if anybody wanted to look at Jane's presentation, I will go ahead and this has been recorded, so we'll go ahead and get that up on the alumni website for you to view.